Hello, I'm Sonia from the Hair Rejuvenation Clinic. I hope you enjoy our deep dive series on how LLLT, otherwise known as hair laser therapy, actually works. I think you will find it quite interesting. The text summary of this episode can be found on our blog. I will post the link in the comments for you.
Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into a topic lots of you have been asking about, red light therapy, specifically for hair growth. Our mission really is to unpack the science. How does RLT genuinely work? What can you realistically expect? We want to give you a clear look at the cellular stuff and the clinical evidence behind it all.
Yeah, absolutely. The interest in, effective hair loss solutions is huge, isn't it? And for good reason. People are looking for things that actually work. So we're here to really get into the how and the why of red light therapy, going beyond just the surface claims. By the end of this deep dive, the goal is for you to have a really solid grasp of what this therapy is all about.
Right, let's dive in then. So the basic idea is red light therapy, sometimes called LLLT, low-level laser therapy. It's a non-invasive way to stimulate hair growth. It works on this principle called photobiomodulation. Sounds fancy, I know. But it's essentially about how very specific wavelengths of light, usually 630 to 670 nanometers, how they interact with your cells.
Exactly. It's not just any light, it's targeted.
Like a biological signal almost, triggering healing, growth. It's amazing what light can do, really.
It really is. And the first key mechanism here is stimulating cellular energy. So when that specific red light hits the scalp, it penetrates a few millimeters.
Just skin deep, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And it gets absorbed by the mitochondria, the powerhouses inside the hair follicle cells. And that absorption, it ramps up their production of ATP, adenosine triphosphate.
ATP, right. The cell's energy fuel.
Precisely. So it basically supercharges the cell's metabolism, its functions.
Okay, so you've got this surge in ATP. That sounds fundamental. But how does that, translate directly? How does it stop hair from falling out or make it grow stronger? What's the actual impact?
That's the crucial link. That extra ATP gives those dormant, maybe weakened hair follicles the energy they need to switch back on, basically. It helps prolong the anagen phase, that's the growth phase.
So it keeps them growing longer.
Exactly. And it reduces that transition into the telogen phase, the resting phase, which is when hair usually sheds. So think of it like a power-up for your follicles. Gives them the juice to stay active, grow stronger, and that directly slows down the hair loss.
And we have evidence for this, studies showing it.
We do. There was a 2017 study, I believe in lasers and surgery and medicine. It found LLLT increased hair density pretty clearly.
How much?
By about 17 to 25 hairs per square centimeter. This was in patients with androgenetic alopecia after 24 weeks, so a measurable result.
Okay, 17 to 25 hair cells, that's quite specific. So we've energized the follicles. But even energetic cells need, supplies, right?
Which brings us to the next bit, blood flow. How does RLT boost blood flow to the scalp? Because that sounds pretty important, too.
Oh, it's definitely important. This is where red light helps the whole scalp environment. Yeah. It stimulates the release of nitric oxide.
Nitric oxide? Okay, yeah.
Is a known vasodilator, meaning it widens blood vessels.
Opens them up. Yeah. And that significantly improves the microcirculation right there in the scalp. It means more oxygen, more vital nutrients get delivered straight to the hair follicles. They need that constant supply.
Like upgrading the delivery route.
Kind of like that, yeah. From a slow trickle to something much more efficient.
So connecting that improved supply line to hair loss. What's the direct benefit? How does better blood flow help?
Well, it directly supports the overall health of the follicle. It helps fight against that miniaturization you see in androgenetic alopecia.
The follicles shrink.
Exactly. And it helps reduce shedding. Basically, it ensures the roots get everything they need to stay healthy and resist thinning. There was actually a study back in 2014, Lasers in Medical Science, that showed LLLT increased scalp blood flow by, get this, 54%.
Wow, 54%. After how long?
After just 12 weeks of treatment. Pretty significant improvement.
Okay, so better energy, better nutrient delivery. But there's another factor, right? Inflammation. You hear about that a lot with hair loss. Why is calming inflammation so key?
That's a really critical piece. Chronic inflammation is, bad news for hair follicles. Red light actually has inherent anti-inflammatory properties. It works by reducing things called pro-inflammatory cytokines. These are chemicals that can directly damage the follicle.
So it tells the body to calm down, essentially.
In a way, yes. It also modulates pathways inside the cells, like one called NFB. Think of NFB as like an alarm switch for inflammation.
Okay.
If it's stuck on, it fuels inflammation and stresses the follicles. RLT helps turn that switch down, gives the follicles a break. And that's crucial because conditions like androgenetic alopecia or even scalp dermatitis often involve chronic inflammation, which weakens follicles and makes hair loss worse.
So the impact then is LLLT helps calm that inflammation down. What does that mean for the hair itself for keeping follicles healthy?
It means the red light literally calms your scalp, reduces that irritation that can accelerate hair loss. It just creates a much healthier, more stable environment for hair to actually thrive and grow properly. And there's data here too. A 2019 meta-analysis confirmed LLLT helps reduce scalp inflammation and improve hair density. So that link is pretty well established.
Now, this next part feels really proactive. We're talking growth factors. What are growth factors, and why is getting more of them so important for your hair?
Yeah, this is interesting. LLLT seems to encourage your body to produce more of its own growth factors, specifically things like VEGF, that's vascular endothelial growth factor,
Okay.
and IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1. These are like powerful little messenger proteins. They basically tell cells to multiply and regenerate. They're key signals for follicle regeneration and growth.
So if red light triggers more of these natural signals, how does that help with hair loss?
Well, by boosting these growth factors, RLT helps strengthen the follicles you already have, and it can encourage new hair growth too. So it directly slows down that progression of hair loss. It's like red light is telling your scalp, hey, produce more of the good stuff needed to keep hair growing longer.
And it also ties into another big factor in hair loss, especially androgenetic alopecia. DHT, dihydrotestosterone.
Ah, yes, DHT, the main culprit in male pattern baldness, right? It shrinks the follicle.
Exactly. It shrinks follicles, shortens their growth phase.
Yeah.
Not good.
So RLT doesn't block DHT like some drugs aim to. How does it tackle DHT's effects then?
Right. It doesn't block it directly. But what it seems to do is make the follicles more resilient to DHT's negative impact. It does this through that enhanced cell activity we talked about, and also by reducing oxidative stress. This helps slow down that miniaturization process.
So it helps the follicles resist the shrinking effect.
That's the idea. Helping you maintain hair thickness for longer, even with DHT around.
It sounds like these mechanisms could work well together, or even with other treatments. There's definitely synergy. A study in 2020 looked at LLOT combined with vasodilating serums.
Like things that also boost blood flow?
Yeah, and they found a synergistic effect in countering that DHT-driven hair loss. So the red light helps make your follicles tougher, kind of protecting them from those thinning hormones, keeping them stronger for longer.
Okay, this is all fascinating science, but let's get practical. People listening probably want to know, why is RLT seen as effective? What are the limits? And importantly, is it safe?
Safety is a big plus here. It's consistently highlighted as non-invasive and very safe. It's actually FDA cleared for treating hair loss.
FDA cleared, okay. That's significant.
It is. And side effects reported in studies are really minimal. Usually just, maybe some mild warmth on the scalp during treatment. That's about it.
So pretty low risk compared to some options.
Definitely. Which makes it appealing for many people looking for alternatives.
And the clinical evidence, what does it say about how much hair growth you might actually see?
Well, studies generally show LLLT can increase hair count somewhere in the range of 30 to 40%.
30 to 40%. That sounds pretty good.
It can be, yeah. Usually after about 12 to 24 weeks of consistent use, it seems particularly effective for early-stage androgenetic alopecia.
So when hair loss is just starting or mild to moderate?
Exactly. Like Norwood scale 1 to 3 for men or Ludwig 1 to 2 for women. It's important to be realistic, though. It might be less effective if the baldness is already quite advanced.
Right. Manage expectations.
For sure. There was a study back in 2013, Lasers in Surgery and Medicine again, reported that around 39% of people using LLLT saw significant regrowth, so nearly 40%.
Okay, nearly 40% saw significant results.
Yeah.
That's helpful context. But addressing a common concern, time. How long does it take? This isn't an overnight miracle cure, is it?
Oh, definitely not. It's crucial to understand results take time. You're typically looking at 12 to 24 weeks to start seeing noticeable changes.
3 to 6 months, roughly.
Right. The hair follicles just need that time to respond to the light, to go through their cycles, and this is really key. Consistency.
You have to stick with it.
Absolutely. Consistent long-term use is necessary if you want to maintain the results. We're talking regular sessions, maybe 1 or 2 times a week.
For how long each time?
Usually around, say, 40 minutes per session. It's a commitment, not something you just do once in a while.
Okay, commitment and patience. Got it.
Mhm.
Now, what about synergy? Can you combine RLT with other things, maybe get even better results?
Yes, absolutely. It shows a lot of potential as a complementary treatment. Think about it. LLLT improves blood flow, boosts cell health. That basically makes the scalp more responsive to other things you might use.
Like what?
Well, for instance, things like lab-grown growth factors applied topically. The improved scalp condition from RLT can make the follicles more receptive to those regenerative signals.
So RLT primes the scalp.
Exactly. It primes the scalp. There was a 2021 study, actually, in the Journal of Dermatological Treatment. They combined LLLT with growth factor treatments, and they found the combination increased hair density by about 30% more than using either therapy on its own.
Wow, 30% more just by combining them. That's real synergy.
It really highlights how it can boost the effectiveness of other approaches.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. What does this all mean for you, the listener? We've dug into how RLT works boosting cell energy,
Improving that crucial blood flow,
calming down inflammation,
stimulating those natural growth factors.
and even helping follicles resist DHT. It really seems like a scientifically solid, non-invasive option, especially, as you said, for mild to moderate hair loss.
Hmm.
And the big takeaway seems to be consistency, right? You have to stick with it to see those results.
Absolutely critical. Patience and consistency. And maybe, just to leave you with something to think about, we've seen how RLT works on the scalp at this really fundamental level: cellular energy, circulation, inflammation. So consider this. How might understanding these deep processes change how you think about other areas of your health? Where else could making subtle improvements in those core functions, energy, blood flow, inflammation, play a really pivotal, maybe underestimated role in your overall well-being? Something to mull over.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. We hope this gave you a much clearer picture of red light therapy for hair growth, and we definitely invite you to keep exploring and stay informed. We'll see you next time.